Guess it's Magic Hat Day. Anybody coming? J. The Q would be, is this the Q? Is this the way the Q comes in? Does it come back in under my chin? Is that why we have the Q? And then we take this one on this side and we spin it. Let me spin it. This one will go out, creating the G. This one, okay, will come in, creating the Q. So now we know the Q is crossing over and the G is crossing out. GQ comes together, creates the Cancer sign. How things come together to create whatever it does create. Understanding I'm not here with the final result, but the building of the understanding of the in-between that connects the two sides for understanding how we got there and for whatever reason we needed to do it the way we did. Understanding what 7 is all about. Creates 3, creates your army stripes. In your army stripes, it's nothing as 2 7s. But as 4 7s, I now show a stripe here and a stripe here. I don't have a closing line until I put the next 7 in. Right? The understanding can also be, okay, that it's a 1. Singularity. Now we can't use a single box because I go nowhere. In a single box, I cannot cross a line. So in a single box 7, I can't use 77 and create the Z. I'm going to show this over here. Okay. Over here, I cannot create the Z because there's no in-between line over here. There is an in-between line when I go 1 square here, 1 square here. Okay, so I got to go 2 by 2. So by going 2 by 2, this is my first size. 77 fits in 1 7, creating 7 and 5. But 7 and 7 is 14. 1 and 4 is 5. 14th letter is N, and now we have the passage over, showing that we have the passage between N and N crossing over. So we just create the M and we go down and all the way over instead of straight up. There's other ways to create the N. It's also this way over here, showing the direct 258 passing zone. I don't know what these numbers are going to be, 1 2 3 3 2 1 1 2 3, or if we overlap the 1 2 3. Let's not get into that. These are army stripes. V is also known as the 22nd letter. 2 and 2 is 4. So now 4 gets into the purple worlds because of what happens in pool. I relate things to games people play, to things on percentages, competition in sports that make this have an Olympic value. Olympic. Okay, so we now know 7 and 7 is 5, but 7 and 7, okay, 7 and 7, I have to do this 2 times 7 because I'm using 2 squares. So do I count this one as 2 7s or a 2 square 7? How do I count the size of this 7 compared to this 7? Here I used 1 square, here I used 2. So would I say 7 to the power of 2 is 49, and I'm creating the gateway. 49, 49 equals to 98. So now we know where 98 comes from, and now we know why 1 and 2, 1 and 2, ABC is now created in the 3-way passage. We all know that if we reverse this, we can end up with the top story to a building. And now we have the building, and we can put up the antenna and just say, hey, this is the flag of Brazil. So we understand that. We're not going to go any deeper. We're going to come on and show you how the 7 can also create the vertebrae. It can also create the ribs. And remember, that's a square 7, right? In my world, okay, we can be going this way for 7, right? This way for 7, come all the way here, and just keep doing this. Now, what are these? Mountains and ledges? Can I put a line down here and a line down here and a line down here? And now you have 3 buildings, right? 3 different buildings, 3 different tops, or a roadway, or what they call in Hebrew the lamed, and now you'll have a number with that. You can have a teepee or a house. And the second way we understand these 7s, okay, is if we're going to run 7 this way, and then run 7 this way. We're just going to do 3 of them the way they do the army stripes. Remember, what happens? We have private, we have general, we have colonel, Now, right away, we have to go to kernel. We know we must pop the kernel because then we'd have popcorn. Then we'd have the ornament, we'd have the gold, and we have creation of the DNA, 3, 1, 4, gold. Why do I do it this way? First and last, right? Just like 6 and 9, what is in between is 7 and 8. So we know what the creation, 7 and 8. We know the passing is 6. 7 and 8 is 15. 1 and 5 is 6. We have the passing of 6. 5 and 9. Sorry, we can't go any higher than this. 15 is the highest. This is the highest. We can't go any higher. There's only two 15s, O and O, the 15th letter and the 15th letter. If I had to go with 4 and 7, I'd have 5 and 6. I'd have 3 and 8 on the outside. I'd have 2 and 9. 5 and 6, 2 is now the passing. 7 and 4, 11, 2 is now the passing. 2, 2, 2 times 8 heaven, 1776. They're all automatic numbers of what has to happen, what can happen, what can't happen. Because if I have 2 and 8, I only can go 1 and 9. But I can go 3 and 7, 4 and 6, and the passing of all is 5. 2 and 8, 1 and 9 artificial intelligence at a cycle of the moon. 4 and 6 is inside 23 creation, or 1.5 will create 6 and 9 rotation. And that's out of Mars because that's where the numbers come in. 5 is half where 1 is split. 1 is the passing. So now we've talked about this and that. We've talked about what 7 can create. Now we're going to get to the, just going to see one more level here. In this thought over here, this is the leap year. The 4th year is the leap year, right? So we leap in this year over here. So now in this year, 6. In this year, 6. In this year, 6. In this year over here, right, I'm going to add on 24. So I didn't add 6. I didn't add 6. I didn't add 6. Here I added 3 of these to create the 24. So I added 4, 6 at a time. Here I created 0, 0, 0. And here I added 24. So all these zeros are now going to be 6, 6, 6. So my term for what the value of 6 is, this is one of the reasons for 6. The other reason for 6 is because 1 and 5 are always the beginning. 5, 10, 5, 10, the change of the penny, right? The change of the penny doesn't occur after 5. It occurs at 7, right? It occurs at 7. Number 7, the 7th innings, we have made the transfer. 7 and 8, 7.5 is that switch. 3.5 is a switch, but it's not 3.5. It's either, 2.5 is the switch. 2.5 and 7.5 is a switch, but it's not true. It's 7 on this side, 8 on this side, okay? And it's 2 on this side, and it's 3 on this side. 2 and 3 switch, 7 and 8 switch, 10, 10, 11, 9. That's the switch of the penny. There is no in between. There's no in between penny. It's this or that. So we have to understand. We just have to understand. So when we're working in numbers, or especially in pi, if pi goes 3.1415, okay, 3.14159265. If we were working on the penny, the 1 would be 0. The 4 would be 5. The 5 would stay at 5. The 9 would be 0. The 2 would end up to be 0. The 6 would end up to be a 5. The 5 would be a 5. We'd have 0550055. So now we have new terminology in talking. We have 01001. So if we're going to go to binary, we can change all this into binary. Where do I get this? I have two 5s. I put them together. I end up with 10. 1 plus 0 is 1. All 1s get converted to 7. We have 07007. Since all zeros equal 6, right? Let's do it over here. Since all zeros equal 6, we have 655, 655, 6655. 6 and 5, 11. 5 and 5, 10. 5 and 6, 11. 6 and 6, 12. 6 and 5, 11. 5 and 5, 10. We end up with 2, 1. All zeros equal 6. We end up with 272, 272, 3, 2, 1. Since all zeros equal 6, we now have a 7. We have no number 1s. So there's a whole way to do this. I have all these equations in my head. I know them all. So when we create this one over here, in this design over here, right, the army stripes, the beacon, the eye, the piece of cheese, whatever you want. Mouse wants the cheese. We can also come up with the river. 5, 7, 7, 5. Anyways, let's not do this. This is the passage. In between 77, you have the passage. You do know when you create, right, the 77, right? You do know what happens. You put one straight line. Here's 7 and here's 7, right? You put that straight line, you get 716. Or you get G, A, F. 1 split 6 is all one letter with a crossing. 771. 7 and 7 creates 5. 5 and 1 is the crossing. Mars 515. This V over here. The 1 is in between 4, 5, and 6 because it's a Roman numerals. And you can do this in Roman numerals. And you can do this in Roman numerals. And that's all you can do. You have 8 and you have 4. And you have Pluto, and that's the greatest stretch. 8 and 4. It's a 1 to 2, 2 to 1 turnaround. So wherever you want to go with numbers and building, whatever you want to do. The other thing about this in the leap year, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, is we have to ask ourselves the turnaround. The turnaround is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, a 7-day week. But is it really a 7-day week? Or is it actually Sunday, Monday, or is it actually 5 days of the week, 2 days of the weekend? Which days do we not count? Which days are the true overlappers? Is an overlapper day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the day of rest should be 1 again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? So the next thing is in the piano, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So here we're doing the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, we leap. 1, 2, 3, 4, we leap. 1, 2, 3, 4, we leap. Now we have 3 leaps equals to 150. 4 leaps equals to 200. Now we've covered the CB codes. $200 is also pass, go, and Monopoly, but it's not free parking because free parking, we start with $500. So we'd need 10 leaps to get free parking because the L letter has a 50 value in Roman numerals, and we're not using it in this year's or last year's or next year's Super Bowl. L is also the 12th letter. So after 5 leaps, you have 60, and 60 represents the seconds and the minutes on the clock. 12 represents the months, but 4 years is 48, and we have 52 cards in the deck. Add up 1, 2, 3, 4. It equals to a total of 10. 48 is 4 periods in basketball, and that is game. 50, right, gives us an extra 3 minutes, and we know 3 minutes stands for boxing. Because in a boxing match, usually you run 3 minutes. 3 minutes is 180 seconds. 180 seconds is the runner of the dome between here and here. See, the number is 12, but the height is 6. What is the height? The height in our apartments are all 8. If the number here is 12 and the height is 8, what number should I be running at? Do you follow what I'm saying? 6 times 2, 6 plus 2. An apartment, an apartment, usually the floors are 8 feet high. The ruler bends at 36 inches. Do I go all the way up and all the way down? Going up from the center here 8 feet. So automatically I need an 8-foot bend. So if at 36 is 28, what is the loss here and what is the loss here? You see this T in the center, right? Or is that the rain that's coming out? The T above, the T below, right? So you have to go through the sin. You have to go through the sin, the sine movement, the sin. You have a T up here. You have a, excuse me, sorry, I'm all over the place. It's into the 12th minute. So T here, T here, T here, T here, T here, right? So now you're going to go and make the movement. 20, 20, 20, 20. 420. You cannot go through the mind thinking this way. You have to do it this way. You're dozing off on me. Dozing off. Doze. You doze, you get 12. That's what doze is. It's 12 because it also can be counted for a dozen. Zen, understanding what Zen is, and this stands for where you are. It also stands for 1020, JT, because of all the languages that are involved. They also stand for WW, because they're both in the O and U family. These are all relationships. This is what things are built on. We talk about hieroglyphics. hieroglyphs, whatever you want to call them. My English is not great, and that's what's so fantastic. The less I know in one world, the more I can possibly understand and have less blockades in the next world of understanding the difference of all. Raphael, 7286, in a constellation of Pegasus. And if you understood anything or anything at all, I sell clothing under MrTackPans.com. You want a calendar, you want a birthday card, whatever you want. Whatever you want, I have the designs. They're all over the designs. The word and the knowledge is here, but my knowledge is the earth knowledge. It's the words that have been passed on through centuries of different formations of, oh, hello, chap. And all these expressions have come together to create numerological values and areas and shapes. And we can create this, and then we get the art by putting things together with the colors, obviously, of creation. And boom, you have something that came out of this thing naturally. Raphael, from my head to your mind, thank you for watching this video.